the manifesting community, those YouTube channels out there, talk about everyone is yourself pushed out and circumstances don't matter. Live in the end. It's about how you feel, this and that. I mean, I have talked about this myself in many videos. How you can use your imagination in order to create a better life for yourself as you're on this planet. However, what I have never addressed in the past for many years, which I have been for the last year at least, especially the last months, is that if we really look at this existence that we're currently in, since it's temporary, then we're basically chasing sort of shadows. We're chasing transient things in the hopes that it will make us happier, makes life more enjoyable, and then we leave it all behind anyway. And for what purpose? Was there really any purpose to it all if you actually look at it from that angle? At least it physically was fun, I guess. But did we actually learn anything about our true situation? That this dimension is actually a prison of your own awareness. Now, when you think about the concept of everyone is yourself pushed out, this is actually true. However, we are living currently in a dimension that is not created, that is not operated in such a way that you can make use of that. Because we know that most people out here are just complete assholes. Now, since most people are assholes, what benefit is it to you to know that everyone is yourself pushed out? There's none. You see, knowing that everything and everyone is yourself pushed out is a statement of knowing that there's only one source from which everything originates, and you came forth from that source. I came forth from it. Everyone does. Everything. And that source consciousness in religions is called God. Now, there's a lot of stupidity in religion as well, as we've mentioned before, that this source consciousness is going to judge you on how you have behaved. The source, right? Source consciousness is going to judge itself. That's basically what they're saying in their ignorance, which makes no sense, and it doesn't even happen that way anyway. But you see, the idea of judgment, etc., is a great way to control people, to keep them under your control. That's why religions are actually a weapon of control. Of controlling the population to behave in a certain way, or to keep them busy thinking about something that may actually be completely pointless. So the title of this video claims source consciousness will give you whatever you want. Again, source consciousness meaning literally God. If that's the term you prefer, you can use that. But sometimes I actually like to also use the term source consciousness simply because God can have such a strange meaning by now, and with so many different ideas surrounding that, one of them being judgment, which again I have already said makes no sense if you understand it from the right angle. So source consciousness will give you whatever you want, which means that actually it happens, of course, through your imagination. Now, what I am literally saying is that you will be given all of your heart's desires, but it might not happen physically. If it were to happen physically, in part or fully, you are still experiencing a shadow, a transient version of your desires. Because in all truth, this place is the realm of the devil, and what religions call God operates in a much higher dimension, in which all of infinity can be explored forever and ever by you as a child of this source. But again, it responds to your imagination. So I'm saying, if you can embrace your dream within your imagination and literally feel the joy of being one with your dream spiritually, then you will one day witness it happen and turn it into a reality. But when I say reality, I don't mean this physical place, because it's a dream of limitation. True reality is infinite and boundless, and it responds to your own intent and imagination in a much higher dimension of existence. This power becomes fully active once the prison of your mortal body has been dropped. But you must gain knowledge about this, true gnosis about this power, so that you don't pass away completely ignorant. For then you might still believe you have to keep seeking the realization of your dreams in the material realm, which is again the devil's playground of lack and limitation, suffering and sorrow, despair and loneliness. Everything is based on luck and disappointments out here. We know this. Don't hide your eyes from it, but dare to embrace the divine truth, that you are formless eternal awareness that can experience whatever it wants instantly at command, by the power of imagination far beyond the realm of the devil. You must awaken to your true nature in order to discover this for yourself. So basically what I'm saying here is that whatever your dream is, whether it is of success, whatever a relationship, getting married, having children, especially these two right there, relationships and having children, this is something people seek out physically, and they are operating under the idea, under the belief that this is what they have to do. But that's programmed into the body, into the DNA, into the genetics of the body. So it's interesting to consider that perhaps the idea of having kids is not even your own true desire, but it's coming from the body, the physical, vehicle that you're using. And why is that there? So that it keeps the species alive, and in a way, indirectly, it keeps souls, you could say, stuck in this realm, in the devil's playground. That's a lot to think about for many that they're not even ready for, but the point is, all these things that you want, that you're like, I want to achieve this, I want to experience this, I want to have this. You are operating under the belief, under the delusion that you need to have it physically, when this is a transient realm. So what I'm literally getting at, again, is that if you can perceive these things that you desire to experience so much, if you can perceive them inside of yourself, in your imagination, and I can actually learn to look forward to experience them spiritually, then you're actually fulfilling them in a much higher realm, in a realm of utter freedom, in the true realm, through the true power of imagination. So it's no longer about achieving it physically. So how does that work? Well, I am claiming here, because it's based from my own experience already and observation, spiritually speaking, that if you, for example, desire to have a partner or children, then you can have them spiritually already. Now, I have had children myself, spiritually speaking, in a higher dimension, to the realms of imagination, total freedom. So I was looking at the child, I talked to it, and I thought to myself, this is pretty interesting, because physically speaking, I don't even have a child right now. But yet here I am, I'm suddenly a father. Isn't that interesting? It's kind of fun, I guess. But it made me realize again and again, I don't have to seek out anything physically speaking in order to feel fulfilled. And that's the point. People seek out their realization of their dreams physically in order to feel more fulfilled and better about perhaps even themselves, of being proud of what they achieved and realized. When everything will be given to you by the source once you know and understand your connection with it, which operates through infinity. And the power of the infinite, the creative power of the infinite, is ultimately imagination, which allows you to do whatever you want. Whatever you can imagine will just become your reality right then and there. That's total freedom. And if you understand that it's about understanding this connection that you have with source, then you can start to develop it while you're still in this place, physically speaking. And once you die, you know to embrace the infinity, the infinite, the true power of imagination, instead of coming back on the delusion, oh, I need to achieve something more, because this is what literally happens. People don't realize this in their ignorance. I know, it's kind of a lot to take in perhaps, but just imagine for a second here, a person dies and then they suddenly have this thought, I didn't experienced marriage, for example. They were alone and lonely all their life. They felt alone, lonely. They never knew about their connection with source, etc. They didn't know anything about themselves spiritually speaking. So they're very lonely, right? The entire life. So then after death, they're like, I was so alone and lonely. I wish I could have experienced what it was like to have a partner. So what happens is they come back to this realm, this dimension, to give it another shot in the hopes of this time finding a partner. And perhaps they will, and then, they're happy. And then, after that life, when they're dead, suddenly the thought might be different. Oh, I wish I actually experienced what it would be like to have like 5 children, a really big family. It would have been cozy, and I'll come back again to experience that. You see what I'm getting at? You keep going back and back to this realm, thinking that it's about achieving something here when it's not. It's actually a lot of suffering and, despair going on in this realm, especially with people trying to realize their dreams and it never happens for them. Then they feel sad and they die in total sadness, feeling that they missed out or were incapable of achieving anything great with their lives. And it was never about any of it. That's all a lie Satan created for your mind in order to keep you stuck here. Because this is another aspect you have to understand. That negative emotions and thoughts are not of your true essence as infinite awareness. They are implanted into your mind by the demonic forces of this realm and the lower astral realms. If you can gain this perception and properly grasp it, you can start laughing at all the bullshit as it tries to invade your mind. The problem is that billions of people, when they feel bad or think negative thoughts, they go along with it, letting it drag them down. They quite literally internalize the demonic energies due to not having the right perception of the situation in which they now exist. But once you can perceive as a divine spark there is never any negativity at all in your own essence, you realize, wait a minute, something very odd is going on here. You can drop the chains of negativity instantly from your heart that kept you in bondage for decades, and most likely for centuries if you take into account any past lives on this planet when we were still ignorant. From that moment on, when negative emotions, thoughts, or even bad bodily sensations occur, you simply know, but that is part of this dimension after all. It is what it is. But I don't really feel like letting it drag me down any longer. So you keep on trying, Satan. But I don't give a fuck about it anymore. Come what may, I will never let go of the truth of my own nature as eternal consciousness. Sorry, that came out a little weird there. It's great, right? You see, that's Satan trying to interfere with me speaking to you about the truth. You see, Satan wants you to go along with the negative, so you suffer and remain in bondage and blinded by this evil, vile energy. Don't let him control you any longer. It's Satan holding a carrot in front of your eyes. Come chase this goal on earth. Come chase it. It will make you so happy. Think about how in religions they have described this all along. How Jesus was tempted, and Eastern spirituality is the Buddha being tempted, and in other stuff in Hinduism, it's also described how a young boy dies and meets up with the god of death, which would be the devil in, other religions, basically. Again, this dark force, he meets up with it. He has a conversation with it. The dark force tells him, you see, everyone keeps coming back to me because they have all these desires that they're chasing over and over. They don't realize they're a unity with the infinite at all. As long as they chase these desires, they remain in my jaws, the jaws of death. It's kind of intense imagery right there. Well, Satan itself came to me in the lower astral realm when I moved outside of my body. And he told me very clearly that it is the most hilarious thing to see human beings completely blind by ignorance, not knowing they are immortal beings that are one with all of creation and have access to all of it in their true essence. It is all so funny to Satan and the demonic forces running the show down here, because in that ignorance people remain under its sway and never break free and find their way back home to watch the true place of eternity. But he knows that I know, and he simply pushed me back into my physical body, since I'm still bound to this realm like everyone else. For the time being, that is all he can do, really. Try to keep you and I and everyone in ignorance, but once you become aware of the situation, then you are prepared for breaking free after this body dies. Then the demonic can no longer fool you with its nonsense. Because remember, Satan has many names, like the devil, Yaldabaoth, Demiurge, Yama, Mara. His demons also have many names, a true legion of energetic negative forces, like the Archons or Jinn, etc. The names are all pointing to the same basic truth, that this place is run by the devil and his servants. It's time to say lovingly, of course, hey, how about you go fuck yourself, bro? You see, you can keep chasing goals over and over here, and they will bring you value. They won't make you... It will make your life seem more enjoyable, of course, having family, friends, children, money, success, fame, whatever it is that you're after, a house, an amazing car, etc. It will make life more enjoyable, of course. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have these things to at least make your time more enjoyable, but as you have them, or as you're chasing them, always remember, you're chasing a mirage, a shadow. It's not real, it's not truly what it's about. We need them to have it comfortable here. It doesn't have to be luxurious. You can have a simple home and just live comfortable, of course. So again, it's a personal choice here. But the most important part is to always remember and develop this gnosis, this inner knowing, this knowledge, awareness that you are one with the infinite. And so that once you die, you no longer keep chasing the same kinds of goals through different incarnations in this dimension. Because that is how Satan, how dark forces try to keep you stuck and away from knowing who you really are. A child of the infinite. An offspring of source consciousness, which is God. I hope this kind of opens your eyes to realize that truly, if you have a dream and you look within your own imagination and then embrace it there, you're actually directly asking source consciousness to give it to you in a higher dimension of your being. So what happens is that one day you will find yourself experiencing the realization of that goal, and you might say, oh, I dreamt about having achieved it. What a beautiful dream. You should understand that was just a glimpse in how this all goes. You experienced the realization of your dreams in another dimension of your being, where you didn't have to put in all this fucking effort and have it all be luck based. Hopefully I'll achieve this and that. Oh, hopefully luck is on my side. None of that is of God. That's all satanic bullshit. So then you had a glimpse of the realization of your dreams in another dimension that you for now might call dream world, and you might see it as fake or nonsensical, etc. Or you might even feel sad about having been woken up again in this reality where you don't have the realization of your dreams. But just remember that that was a glimpse of how this goes after the grave once you fully grasp this, that you can just seek the realization of whatever it is you desire within the depths of your own being through the power of your own imagination. So after you're dead, physically speaking, right? And you still have goals that you want to experience, instead of literally operating under the mindset, oh, I have to go back to physicality in order to experience them. No, explore them to the power of imagination. Ask and connect with source consciousness and let it help you experience the realization of those dreams. Then you're doing it in the higher realms, in utter freedom, where there will be no judgment, will be no need for money or anything. It will just manifest by your own intent. To me, that is the meaning, the secret meaning of our ability to come and eat and drink without price. Because everything happens by the power of your own imagination out there in the higher realms. So I hope this gives you something to think about, because the manifesting community is mostly obsessed with achieving things physically, again, and purely in the transient realm, without addressing the fact that we are actually meant to outgrow this whole realm altogether, to be completely, utterly free, as infinite awareness, having experiences of infinite kinds. Currently, the awareness is having the experience of a human being. But after, infinite awareness can have the experience of infinite imaginative power that allows you to do and go and experience whatever you want. Yes, that kind of freedom has been hidden from all of us, sadly. But it makes more sense if you again remember this is just a realm of the devil and it's meant to be that way. Keep people in ignorance, keep them blind, so they're more easily controlled and kept under my control of darkness. Yes. It's a sad situation if you think about it, but the good news is you're still a child of the infinite, the divine spark. So once you awaken to your true nature, oh, this place is over for you, and you'll go back home.